And you have to think, why does the United States need to get involved in all these things? And where do we draw the line? There are dictators in Africa. There are dictators in Asia. There are dictatorships in South America. Some would argue the two-party duopoly in America constitutes kind of, sort of a dictatorship because we really don't have any democratic control over the big-ticket items. So why is the United States getting involved in all these things? Thank you for hosting the space. Charles, can you please tell us a little bit more about Democracy 4.0? So, Democracy 4.0 is kind of a term that Agalos came up with in a series of discussions about how do we build a better combination of decision systems, information aggregation systems, representation systems, so who has control in the system, and apply that in a way that tends towards a collection of criteria. Does it decentralize faster or stay at the same level of decentralization despite the scale of the system? Because what ends up happening is the larger a government gets, the less decentralized the government tends to be, and the more centralized the government gets around certain critical institutions that are required for the bureaucracy to run itself. Does it make effective decisions? So efficacy can be defined as, you look over a horizon of time, when a decision was made, did that decision achieve the desired outcome? And if not, how far was it from the desired outcome relative to other decisions that could have been made? Is it efficient in that it takes less time, a reasonable amount of time to converge to a decision? You have a very effective engine, but a very slow decision-making process. So physics is a great example of that. It's quite effective in that when papers are published and things are done over a long horizon, 20 to 30, 40 years, you have enormous discoveries and enormous progress in the field. However, it's not particularly efficient in that, when you discover something, it may take years and years or decades for that discovery to propagate through, be generally accepted. So effective, but not necessarily efficient. You have very efficient, but ineffective systems. You can make wrong decisions quickly. Medicine is quite like that. If you go, you're hospitalized, your doctor may misdiagnose you, but he's very efficient at misdiagnosing you and giving you medicine right there as soon as you get to the ER. So that's kind of problematic. So efficacy, efficiency, the inclusivity of the system, and the types of decisions the system can make, the types of decisions that the system can make with human input, without human input, taking the design of the system and putting that system on the blockchain itself. So the system is actually self-referential. It understands its own design. These are all examples of things that are kind of in the scope of the conversation of better governance systems, as well as more resources upon which to make decisions with. Right now, our principal resource of decision-making is your stake. So how much ADA do you have? And that's a really good starting point to bootstrap the system, because people are mostly aligned with the growth of the ecosystem if that's their decision making over the long term. But there's many problems with that. And it's okay to say there are problems with it. There's problems with proof of work. There's problems with proof of stake. So the next step is to go beyond that and say, can we have additional resources to counterbalance some of the problems that we have with the proof of stake system? And this is the scoping for that whole Democracy 4.0. And as we get to the second half of the year, after we're past a lot of this stuff, a formal proposal will come out and we'll have all the bells and whistles, and we're good for that.